What should I do? Where should I go? Where can I park my car this winter? Where? What? How? Well, if you stay tuned, guys, I'm going to tell you everything you need to do to store your summer performance hot rod for the winter season. So keep watching. Tons of people have to store their summer performance cars for the winter in the Midwest and other places all around the world. Now, there's a huge debate on what are the things you need to do to store your car properly in order for it to function properly the following season. And I'm going to talk to you guys about some of the things that I personally like to do to my vehicles when I do store them. Now, you can store performance cars, you can store classic cars, you can store tractors, you can store other things using this method. So here's the first thing you want to do. Common sense, guys. You want to wash your vehicle. Not only wash the vehicle, make sure you guys, it's like a detail. You want to wash it. You want to use a clay bar to take off any sediments and contents that are embedded in the paint material so they don't stay there and spoil and damage the paint. After you guys clay bar the paint, you can give it a nice quick wax and then you'll be ready to go with the exterior. Now let's jump onto the interior of the vehicle. You don't want to leave your old McDonald's fries rotting away in your vehicle during the 4, 5, 6 months that it's going to be stored away. Not only that, it's going to spoil, it's going to damage the carpet, and it's going to attract rodents and crickets to be in your vehicle. And you don't want none of that. So clean the outside, clean the inside. Make sure you guys wipe down the under wheel wells of the vehicle as well. Any dirt, mud, debris that's embedded under the wheel wells traps moisture. Moisture traps, and moisture helps form rust in certain spots of the vehicle. So definitely, once you guys clean that all in, park the vehicle where you want it to be stored. Next thing, you definitely want to change the old oil that you've ran the whole season and put brand new fresh oil into the engine. Some people like storing the car with the oil that's been, used and abused for the whole season, but I personally don't like that method because all the dirt and sentiments are going to pretty much sit at the bottom of the oil pan, and the longer they sit there, the harder it is going to be to flush them out the following season. So my opinion, always run brand new fresh oil and a new oil filter when you're storing the car. And I'm going to get back to this whole conversation with oil upon the springtime when you do take your vehicle out, so keep watching. But once you change the oil, you also want to make sure the fuel is topped off in the gas tank. The more fuel there is, the less room for moisture and condensation to build up, which eventually will form rust. And we don't want to keep moisture in the gas tank because that will cause problems. I always add a fuel additive stable to preserve the fuel to keep it fresh and working properly without gunking up over the long winter season. When spring rolls around, guys, always make sure the first gas tank you guys have, you drive the car slowly, moderately. Don't be revving it, don't be redlining it, because again, the fuel just sat for 5, 6 months with an additive. It's not going to be optimal fuel. It's not going to be, if you put in 93 octane in the fall, it's not going to be 93 octane in the spring, okay? It's definitely going to lose some of that juice and it's not going to be as strong. So you don't want to beat on your car because your fuel and air trims will be off. So make sure the first fuel tank you guys run, just drive it smoothly, cruise, let it idle, whatever it takes to get it out.
Make sure you guys use a high quality battery tender, or if you want, you can always remove the battery and store it in a nice warm place so it doesn't lose charge as quickly. Here we are using a battery tender, link in the description below.
Now, you definitely want to make sure your intake hole or intake, wherever the air comes in from the intake side, you guys want to cap that off. So put a rag into the intake or put a bag over the cone filter. If it's an aftermarket filter, just put a cone on there. Make sure the whole intake system is sealed. Rodents like to bury in there, make homes for the winter. So put that on the intake, and that goes for the exhaust as well. Those quad pipes you guys got, running around, polished 5-inch tip, yeah, easy place for rodent to hop in and chill there all winter long. So put a bag or put a cloth in your exhaust as well. Seal that up so you guys know for sure nothing's going into that valuable built nitrous turbocharged supercharged motor you guys spend so much time and money building over such a long period of time. So we don't want none of that. So definitely take that as a precaution. Now the next thing you guys want to do is consider your tires. Okay, tires get flat spots over a long period of time as they sit in one spot flat. Okay, that's how the term came to be, flat spot, because when they're rounded and you're driving, they keep their round shape. But when they're sitting in one spot for too long, and the reason for that is because the tires are sitting way too long on a flat surface. So you got two options here. You can jack the car up on 4 jack stands and leave the car a little bit lifted off the air so the tires don't have direct pressure on them, or not as much pressure on them. Or you can buy aftermarket products such as this wheel flat spot stopper, which pretty much mend the tire into an oval shape. That way you don't get flat spots. And remember guys, if you're running summer performance tires with a soft rubber compound, this is more vulnerable to these flat spots. So expensive tires, slicks, all that, you don't want to be replacing it when the season opens. You want to be able to go get in that car, burn that first fuel tank off, and go to the drag strip right away. Once you guys take care of that, it's also important to put mothballs all around the vehicle. Mothballs, you know, the critters and little bugs and all animals, they try to stay away from these mothballs. They just don't like it. So the more you have around the vehicle, it's real cheap. Mothballs, or you can get anywhere you want, at any kind of store. Put these suckers all around the vehicle. It'll help, I guarantee it. Once you get onto the inside of the car, just crack your windows open. You do want some ventilation. You don't want the musk and the air to be stationary in that vehicle. So crack the windows open a little bit in all 4 corners. And you want to drop some silica packets inside the vehicle on the floor. Silica packets, they absorb moisture. So this way, if there is some moisture, if you do have some humid winters, this is going to help absorb that. And again, it's not going to create a musky environment. Now, make sure you guys get a good quality car cover, okay? That's going to seal the deal from the outside. And at this point, guys, I think you're fairly good with the storage process. As far as insurance goes, either call the insurance, tell them you don't want the car insured over the next few months so you can save money on that, or just get some kind of limited liability insurance where you can just get more discounts because you're not going to be driving the car. So make sure you just have insurance for theft or any damages that may occur. So guys, I know earlier in the video I mentioned put fresh oil in when you first store the car. And what I also like to do, some people are just going to crank that car right up 7 months later. I personally don't want to do that because all that oil that's been sitting drip down to the bottom of the oil pan. So your head, your valves, your camshafts, they don't really have much lubrication. Yes, synthetic oils are much better and they help keep a film of lubrication, but over 5-6 month period, that lubrication is gone. You definitely don't want to start a motor like that with no lubrication. So what I like to do personally, that new oil that's been sitting in the car for so long, drain it into a clean oil pan, and then put the drain plug back in, and then pour it right back into the top of the motor. By doing so, all this excess oil that's flowing from the top of the valve cover is going to hit the camshaft, it's going to hit some valves, it's going to help lubricate whatever it needs to lubricate from the top. Granted, it's not going to lubricate everything, it's not a picture perfect thing, but anything you can do to help reduce friction on startup is always a bonus. So there you guys have it. That's the little secrets that I have for storing your vehicle in the wintertime anywhere around the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos. Peace.
I ain't here for the money, I ain't here for the fame. Though it might be nice to own a jet plane, I'ma do it all for you. Come along and see it's true.